You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Now, yes, you are. No, you're not.
Is she just making shit up on the fly? What is the earliest age to form memories? Around 2.5 to 3.5 years old is when people start to form memories.
It's like 4 is the cutoff, but even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
The wave, the torrent of harassment and abuse that was directed at Ethan and his wife following the breakup with Hasan was one of the most intense campaigns that I've seen in my entire 15 years of doing content. And, you know, it's topical, especially this week, because it's now gone so far as these anti-Ethan leftists, one of them called CPS on Ethan and his wife. Now CPS are like showing up on Ethan's door, like fully psychotic behavior. And like Denims, her chat, somebody managed to like find a VOD or whatever, and you could see people in her own chat talking about calling CPS. Dude, somebody help me find the clip. It's one of the most insane things. You know what? Let me find it. Denims said the craziest shit, dude. Like I saw this clip and my jaw was agape. Like just watch this clip.
Those people should have CPS called on them 1000%. These people, like, I think that there is some level of negligence happening here, and I think it's irresponsible. I don't think CPS should be called on them. I've never said that they should be called on them, and I've never approved of it, ever. I think it's embarrassing.
She just casually accuses Ethan and Hila of being negligent parents. First of all, that's fucking crazy.
Embarrassing for Hila here to be like, this is so traumatic for the kids. You're trying to traumatize the children. It's like, dog, you literally, the vast majority of people are like are not remembering anything that happened to them at 3.
Wow. What a, bro, the levels of like that, when you talk to like any childhood, that isn't crazy, really. When you talk to any childhood psychologist, they'll tell you that like 3-4 years old, those are formative years. Even if you don't retain specific memories, if you endure trauma as a 3-year-old, it can and oftentimes does cause psychological or emotional problems that persist through your entire life. And like aside from that, it's just a psychotic thing to say. Like, okay, yeah, you had CPS called on you, and now, you know, your 3-year-old has to like interact with these random strangers from the state showing up at your house, but you know, they're only 3 years old, so they're probably not going to remember that. How are you defending that? What a crazy, like, what is wrong with you? What a crazy thing to defend. What a crazy thing to defend. I don't understand why it's so hard to be like, okay, that's up. That's up. You know, people are imperfect. You know, people say stupid things all the time. Even if you're a Denim supporter, I don't understand why it's so hard to be like, you know, what she said was, yeah, that's pretty up. Dog, they're only 3. They're not even going to remember what happened to them. First of all, I do have a memory at 3 years old. In fact, my earliest memory is from 3 years old. The first memory that I ever have, I was 3 years old. I remember it so vividly, actually. My mom was dropping my older sister Tiffany off at, it was a school that I went to for kindergarten, eventually called Valley Vista in Petaluma. And I went with my mom when she was dropping off Tiff, and I kind of wandered away from my mom. And there was a kid that was painting something. He was doing like a painting. And in my mind, I was a very kind of artistic kid. Like I drew a lot, I colored a lot. I ended up becoming kind of decent at like drawing faces, but I, you know, me 3 years old, I noticed that his sky wasn't blue, and I decided this needs to be blue. And so I, without asking this kid for permission, you know, took one of the brushes, dipped it in the blue paint, and started painting on this kid's painting to turn the sky blue. And the kid yelled at me. He was like, "Why'd you do that?" And he got really mad at me, and I got scared. And I ran to my mom and I like grabbed on her leg and I started crying profusely. Like this kid scared the shit out of me because he was so pissed. That was a formative memory for me. I'm not kidding. That was like in the movie, is it Inside Out? It was a formative memory for me. It was a core memory. And I'm telling you, that experience impacted me like permanently. I'm not like, not a joke. And I have other vague memories when I was 3 years old. I remember it was a canon event. Yeah, right. I remember that my parents used like a kid gate, right? Like we all know what a kid gate is. And it was set up to, you know, they put me to bed early, you know, I don't know, 7, probably like 7 p.m. or something like that. And I remember climbing over the gate and falling and like screaming for my mom because I fell down from this gate. But I mean, how many of you guys have memories when you were 3 years old? I mean, first of all, I was fully in the right. The sky deserved to be, the sky should have been blue. I would guess probably like, hold on, like, let me look this up. What is, on average, what is the earliest age to form memories? I'm going to guess it's probably like 3 or 4, right? Around 2.5 to 3.5 years old is when people start to form memories, which makes what Denims said even, what, I just can't get over what that's so insane to me that she said that. What a crazy thing. The kids will be fine. They're only 3 years old. Bro, as representatives from the state are sent into your home and you're forced to talk to an adult that you don't know, and you can't imagine that being traumatizing for a 3-year-old, to me, that's like sociopathic. It's like a sociopath. Let's say something like that.
Then the part that, in my opinion, crossed the line was like, so I'm going to visit your kids at school and ask them questions. And I says, you're not. No, I mean, we both were like, that's not happening.
No.
Not going.
Terrifying.
You are not doing that. So he agreed to come visit our house
next week
when the kids are at home because he needs to interview our kids.
Bro, can we just back up a little bit? Gunther in Denims chat says, now imagine how Palestinian children feel. As if what's occurring in Palestine justifies sticking CPS on someone whose political opinions you disagree with. Is fully deranged.
To interview our kids as a matter of procedure.
But I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told
giving Zionist victim vibes.
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Now, yes, you are. No, you're not.
Is she just making shit up on the fly? She is, right? At this point, it's just, it's pretty obvious. She's just making shit up on the fly. You don't have memories at 5 years old? I have so many memories at 5 years old. I was in kindergarten at 5 years old. I remember nap time, arts and crafts. I remember playing on the schoolyard. I remember one time, you guys, it was bad. I have a memory. I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten. And the bell rang to come in from recess. And I'm like a really hyper kid, right? Like, imagine Hutch, just a hyper. I was a very hyper child, very active and energetic and social and disruptive. And I'm running to get in line to go back in class. And I run past, you guys remember tetherball? It's like a pole sticks up out of the ground and there's a ball dangling from the top of the pole by, it's held by like a rope, like a little bit of a rope. And as I'm running by the tetherball, I decided it would be a good idea to just hit it as hard as I could as I'm running. Oh boy. So then the ball flings all the way around the pole and then wraps around my neck. Like, imagine a dog like that runs full speed and then their owner like pulls back on the neck collar. So I'm pulled back and I land on the ground. It was like the biggest self-own I've ever done in my life. And it caused rope burns along my necks. Like, I f***ed myself up. But that's such a vivid memory for me. And I was 5 years old. I don't know, like, why would you just make up like, oh, it's very rare that people have memories at 5? Like, what?
For them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Now, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories. You will remember.
I have so many memories. When I was 5, so many memories. We used to do like family gatherings at one of my uncle's house. My mom's side of the family is really big, 13 kids, fucking like hundreds of cousins and shit. I remember like playing with my cousins at my uncle's house. I remember the layout of a living room I was in at one of my aunts and uncle's house when they were watching a Mike Tyson fight when I was 5 years old. I remember playing with my sisters when I was 5 years old. Like, I have so many vivid memories when I was 5 years old. What the f is she talking about?
So everyone in chat here has a collection, like 50 plus memories of when they were 3 years old. I only have a few memories from when I was 2, 3, and...
Do you know what makes a memory more likely to be retained when you're 3 years old? If it's f***ing traumatic. That shit you will remember. It becomes a core memory. You can have vivid memories of traumatic incidents when you're 3
and 4.
What his fingers smell like.
Talking to a random stranger once isn't really memorable for a kid. No, I don't want AI overview. There's a wide variation about the mean across methods, cohorts. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3.
Oh my God. Have some humility. Have some humility. Like, what? Bro, your stream's going to forgive you, bro. Like, I say stupid shit sometimes. And then you guys fact check me and then I look it up and I'm like, oh, I guess I was wrong. Like, what, you know, just say like, okay, I was wrong. That's all you got to say. But to double down on what you just said after you referencing a study that contradicts what you're saying, just admit you were wrong. Just be like, okay, I was wrong. You're not going to lose viewers. I feel like people appreciate that kind of honesty, right?
And it's pretty rare to
Someone in the chat, boom. What are you booming?
to be forming memories, or like memories that you will keep.
Oh, someone in the chat corrected her. Trauma is forever and trauma can be everything. With wide variation about the meme. About the mean. I don't remember shit at 4.
You will keep.
I mean, I'd agree that calling CPS is wrong, no, goes too far. But also we don't know who called. No one said 50 memories, I don't think, but if you experience major trauma, which she thinks that is, but it's not. Guys, it's not trauma to be forced to talk to CPS agents or whatever they're called. Something more like a Holocaust or sexual assault. Dude, like anything can be traumatic when you're young. Anything. Because the way that you perceive the world is not fully formed. Like when you're 3 years old, you don't have the capacity to fully identify when something is a threat to your safety. So anything can be traumatic when you're 3 years old. If you walk around the corner and you see like a figure in a shadowy part of the room, maybe it was just a doll, but your mind thinks that it was like a human being that's gonna jump up and hurt you, that can be traumatic. Like a completely innocuous event can be insanely traumatic when you're young because you don't have your full faculties yet. So this idea that like, well, you know, you can experience trauma at 3, but really only if you're like being holocausted or sexually assaulted. At least here, someone in her chat gets it. It's not about remembering those events. It's about the impact they have on development.
Like at 5. Like I can remember maybe, I don't know, 5 things that happened to me, maybe.